Hello everyone, good evening, and sorry for this couple of minutes delay. There's some technical issue. If you're able to hear my voice, can you just give me a thumbs up, or maybe like the video, put a comment so that I get to know you're actually able to follow me, because I'm streaming through Zoom over YouTube. And yes, once that is done, and once some more students join, we'll start off. Okay, thanks Ashwin for the confirmation. Now, this video, the purpose of this video or this interaction is especially for the students who are writing their examination in November 23 attempt, right? So those of you who have cleared foundation recently, when the results were declared, or those of you are writing under, direct theme and all, how to approach November 23 examination. That is the idea of this particular video, because all of you have come from foundation. You have done some kind of studies there. You have written an examination in a particular way. As you move up from foundation to inter, and of course, subsequently from inter to final, you would need to tweak some things. You would need to improve on certain aspects, and you would need to change your approach also. One thing for all of you, a very important thing that you have to keep in mind is foundation had 4 subjects. Inter has 8 subjects. So you would generally think efforts have to be doubled. But please remember, from 4 subjects, though you are going to 8 subjects, the depth is vast. Now, it is no longer that you can do with fundamental conceptual understanding. You need working knowledge. You need to be able to apply whatever concepts you learn. And though the number of subjects have doubled, I generally estimate, and whenever I talk to students also, the efforts you need has to be 4 times. Okay, the efforts have to be 4 times, not just double. It has to be 4 times if you have to crack it properly in the November attempt, right? So starting now, we have 8 months of time in hand. Of course, there will be some semester exams, some celebrations, something here, something there, but we have a good 8 months in hand. And in those 8 months, how do we plan? How do we prepare for the 23 examination? That is the discussion we will be having. Right now, any question you have with respect to the examination, please feel free to ask. Please feel free to put it in the chat box. And as and when I reach to that particular question, I will cover that. Already I see Ashwin and all. Ashwin has already put up a couple of questions. I will address them as well. Right now, first thing first, just to have a broad overview of what are the subjects you would be learning. I know a lot of you would be already familiar with, but broadly, I will just take you through the subjects that you would be learning and how to plan each of this paper, when to study which paper, how are these papers linked, when should we study group 1, group 2, all of those things is what we will be covering. So, right, so let me just, share my screen. Just give me a moment, I'll share my screen. So if you are able to, see my screen, just give a thumbs up so that I know you are able to see the screen, right? I'll take you broadly through the subjects that you'll be learning. What are the overall concepts that you'll be covering? And how do we, later on we'll take up how do we approach, which to prepare, which not to prepare first, and all of that, right? So as I told you, there are 8 subjects. We start with accounting, then we have law, costing, taxation, then we have advanced accounting, auditing, EISSM, and FM and Eco, right? These are the 8 subjects. All of you will be aware of by now. Now, a broad overview of what you learn in accounting is 1, accounting standards. Now, accounting standard is an area where you will be getting at least 25 to 30 marks of questions in every attempt. Historically, right from the time I had written my examination, that used to be the case, right? So These standards, and group 1 has easier standards. Some of these like AS1, AS2, you would have already learned basics of them at foundation level. So this, you should start with accounting standards. And when you start with accounting standards, make sure your conceptual understanding is thorough. You do not miss any of the points in these given standards. And I promise you will be able to score 20 marks out of 30 marks easily in these questions, because questions are also mostly repeated. There are some specific type of questions which are asked. And this accounting standard, they will form a base of the remaining accounting paper. Some of these you will be, learning in audit paper, right? So all of these are interlinked, and hence this becomes very, very important, right? Then second important aspect is your company accounts, where you will learn about preparation of financial statements, your profit and loss prior to incorporation, bonus issue, cash flow statement, and all of these things. This is also an area where you can score very good marks. Questions will not be complicated. Questions will not be tricky. Very, very easy to score, slightly lengthy, but you'll be able to manage. Right now, as far as company accounts is concerned, one thing that you have to keep in mind is company accounts you will also learn in law. So now when you move from foundation to inter, right, one approach that has to change is you are not studying one subject, you are studying 8 subjects, and you have to look at those 8 subjects as a whole. You cannot say that I will learn accounting. After I finish my accounting, I'll forget accounting. If you follow that approach, you will, it will be very difficult for you in the examination. In fact, I remember in, in one of our papers in final, they had asked a question based on elasticity of demand, which we learn in foundation, right? So here, all these 8 subjects are interlinked, and it is possible that, a topic from one particular subject may be tested in another. Generally, it does not happen, but when it comes to company accounts, you have a separate chapter in your law, where you will also be learning about the way books of accounts are maintained and all of that. And this will form the basis of what you will learn in company audit subsequently. Okay, so this also is very, very important, highly scoring. Then there are accounting for special transaction. Here I'll tell you where students find challenge in this insurance claim and loss of stock or loss of profit, and in hire purchase and installment sale. So these are the 2 areas where students generally find difficulty. So you have to be extra cautious while preparing. Then moving on to special type of accounting. Here departmental is slightly easier. For branches, including foreign branches, because there are many methods, that becomes slightly tricky. Accounting from incomplete records, if your concepts are strong, that should not be a challenge. Okay, so that is all about accounting. Sir, is accounting so easy? It's not so easy. It is lengthy, it is vast, but the way you should start, the way you should approach the paper is, you will start with paper 1 of accounting. You start with accounting standards, finish up company accounts before you take up subjects like audit or advanced accounting. Don't start advanced accounting before learning, at least if a lot of students ask this question, sir, can I start advanced accounting first? Yes, you can, provided you finish this accounting standards and at least company accounts. Okay, that is about, the first paper, that is accounting. Then law, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. These are the 10 chapters that you will be learning. And this was what I was talking about, accounts of companies. Okay, so this is again linked to paper 1. So whenever you come back to accounts of companies, you should recall what you have learned in paper 1, right? Here, you have to follow this specific order. Only thing that you can do is maybe registration of charges you can do independently, but I would not suggest you to skip the topics. Go in the specific order of from section 1 to section 148. Okay. Now, one thing what you have to also keep in mind is the first chapter, preliminary, has a lot of definitions. Now, just by learning definitions line by line, in each of the classes, or in the first class itself, it may not help you. Some of the definition you will not be able to understand till the time you read other chapters, right? So if at all you are not able to understand the definition, you just keep it aside. Definitions part, keep it aside. Subsequently, when you read remaining chapters, when you study remaining chapters, you can go through that, right? So simple, but a lot of things to be remembered. A lot of penalty provisions to be remembered, a lot of timelines to be remembered. So what I suggest is, Keep a separate notebook of your own. Now, one thing what I also want to tell to all of you, the thing is, we try to ask somebody, hey, do you have penalties all written at one place? Can you share it with me? So when you start searching for these kind of short notes outside, what happens is somebody will give you, and you will read one by one, but then you will not be able to retain that. So what I suggest is, especially in subject of company law and taxation, wherever there are limits, wherever there are penalties, wherever there are timelines, make your own notes. Once you write and once you revise, you will be able to retain that. Now, one important question, another, what students ask is it mandatory to remember section? Not mandatory. If you can remember, well and good. If you cannot, don't put extra effort or don't break your head on that, right? Then, along with company law, you also have other laws which carry 40 marks. This is slightly, high scoring because the kind of questions which are asked is, limited again here. Now here, extension of what you learned in Indian Contract Act at CA foundation level. So balance sections are covered here. Then you have Negotiable Instrument Act, one of the toughest act. And let me tell you upfront, one of the toughest act. I also used to find a lot of difficulties, and especially these days we don't use checks. These days we use limited, types of bills of exchange and all. That is where this becomes slightly complicated. So this is one area where you may need more revisions, or you may not be able to understand in the first go, right? So this is one area you will find challenge, and I'm highlighting this upfront to you. Then we have General Clauses Act. It's a simple act. And interpretation of statutes. Almost every attempt you get a question from this. So this is also important. Again, can I start other laws before starting Companies Act? Yes, of course you can start other laws before starting Companies Act. But one very important trick for you guys is to note down penalties, sections, and all of that as you progress. Okay. Then cost and management accounting, paper number 3. This is generally challenging for students at intermediate level because you have not learned about cost and management accounting earlier. See, regarding companies, regarding Contract Act, regarding accounting, you have learned something. Costing is something which is new. Questions generally tend to be lengthy, sometimes very complex. So that is where conceptual understanding is very, very important in this particular subject. Now, it's not that other subjects don't need conceptual understanding. This needs solid conceptual understanding from your side, right? So again, which order? Definitely first introduction, then understand about material cost, employee cost. After that, you can move to other ways, like, you can move to directly to something like marginal costing, budget and budgetary control. Here you can flip chapters, right? But unless you have a solid understanding of what is given initially, especially with respect to cost, material cost, labor cost, overhead, and all of that, you should not move to further chapters. Now here, areas where students find really difficult is our standard costing. This one. A lot of formulae, a lot of calculation involved. So again, here, try to note down your formulae, remember all the formulae, keep all the formulae at your place, and practice a lot. Because this is one area where students generally tend to struggle, and they are not able to attempt them well in the examination. But once you're thorough with the formulae, you will be able to handle them well. And high scoring areas are like your, activity-based costing. These are high scoring areas. Then, marginal costing is high scoring area. In fact, marginal costing is very interesting. Marginal costing is something that you will actually use in your real life scenario also, right? So that becomes really interesting. Some of them may be, you may find it boring, theoretical kind of thing, but high scoring subject. In fact, in the recent attempt, a couple of our students have scored 90 plus as well. Your concepts must be solid in this. Lengthy, but still manageable. Then comes one of the most vast subject or paper, I would say, which is income tax. How much ever you learn, how much ever you read, how many ever books you follow, something would be missed. It is vast. You will keep on forgetting things. So that is where, again, more and more revisions would be important here. Before you start, so income tax is something which you should go again in the sequence in which the classes are being taught. You will learn about what is income, why is income tax, what are the different types of income, what is PAN, what is the meaning of, how should we report our income, what kind of deductions we get. And this is one subject which gets law. Every year you have amendments. For example, current year, financial bill was passed, budget was placed in the parliament. So you would be aware that, Finance Act was passed, they did something on, salary, they did something here, something there. All of that will be applicable for the subsequent attempt, right? So this year's financial bill, that is 23 finance bill, will be applicable for May 24 and November 24 examination. Next year finance bill the next year finance bill will be applicable from next attempt. So a lot of changes keep on happening. So what you need to do is you need to keep track of those changes, and we do publish PDF notes and videos of this subject, whatever amendments happen. It is vast, tricky, and till the time you understand conceptually and keep revising this, it may become challenging. But don't be afraid of it. Highly scoring again. So here you will, again, as I told you, you'll learn about what is income. You will understand whose income is taxed, what are the different heads of income. Heads of income, these 5 things: salary, house, property, business and profession, capital gains, and income from other sources. This covers, generally you will get, you'll be able to cover 30 to 40 marks, here and there put together. Highly scoring area. And, that is where you have to pay more attention. You need to keep on revising, right? Then along with income tax, you have indirect taxes. That is the GST part. Shivteda was supposed to join, but because of some, something urgent coming up, he could not join. GST, simple, short, and high scoring. I'll put it very simply. Okay, simple, short, and high scoring. Income tax, if you have to do 120 hours, GST can be completed in 40-45 hours, right? And again, standard type of questions keep on repeating. So you learn about what is goods and service tax, when are what kind of products are subject to taxes, what kind of products may be exempt, services, and all of that. Then you'll also learn about concepts of input tax credit, filing of returns, and all of those aspects. Okay, a broad overview of indirect taxes. Then 2 things when we talk about law and taxation, what you need to keep in mind is amendments up to 6 months before the exams are applicable. So a lot of students ask, sir, is Finance Act 23 applicable for May 23 attempt? It is not applicable. Is Finance Act made for income tax purpose applicable for November 23 attempt? It is not applicable. So any amendment that is put up to 30th of April, that is what will be applicable for an examination. So GST also comes with amendment, law also comes with amendment, right? So that is about group 1, slightly easier as compared to group 2 because it is more practical oriented. Group 2 is more theory oriented, right? So moving on to group 2, advanced accounting. Now, as we move from group 1 accounting to group 2 accounting, as the name suggests, advanced, and it is really 2x of accounting. If you ask me, it is exactly 2x of what you will learn in accounting. Standards, more number of standards, heavier standards, lengthy standards, standards which will need more revision as compared to group 1 standards. Okay, that is one. Then complex concepts like employee stock option plan, buyback of securities, then amalgamation, reconstruction, and liquidation, then partnership firm dissolution, amalgamation, consolidated financial statement. In fact, consolidated financial statements we learned at final level. So that is the level of advanced knowledge that is required. And banking companies and NBFC, where you need to remember and read and remember a lot of aspects. Okay, a lot of these topics are new. So my strong suggestion to all of you is not to start advanced accounting till the time you have at least completed accounting standards and company accounts from the first part. Okay, and lot of patience would be needed for you to understand because these are newer concepts that you will be introduced to. Then audit, the future chartered accountants that I am talking to today, some of you would be taking up this profession and some of you would be auditing companies. And remaining, you would be on the other side of the table. You would be giving, accounts, preparing accounts and financials, and you'd be on the other side of the table, answering questions raised by auditors, right? Chartered accountants. The moment you hear this term chartered accountant, the first thing that comes to our mind is auditor, right? Now, what is audit? Just a broad thing. Basically, you evaluate, you audit, you check financial statements, and you give a report based on that. Broadly put, right? Now, before you start audit, I suggest please complete some parts of accounting, some parts of law, also start income tax, because all of these will be interlinked when it comes to audit. Okay, this is one subject which takes knowledge from all other subjects and you have to put into practice, right? So here you will understand about audit. And as we have accounting standards, in audit we have something called as standards on audits. Now, as far as standards on audit is concerned, these are basically the standards which auditors should follow when they are auditing, right? You should try to complete them, whatever standards are applicable, and then complete company audit and then finish up the balance portion. Okay, so here you will have what is audit, what is audit strategy planning, etc. So all of these you see, right? SA and all of that. That is what is needed for, or that is what these are, what are the standards. So about 50 to 60 marks will be covered with the standards that is applicable at CA intermediate level, right? And coming to this part, like audit of items of financial statement and the company audit, right? Again, company audit is, you will also learn about company audit in company law. You learn about accounting in paper 1 accounting. All of those concepts, whenever you audit financial statements, those concepts will be linked here. So this is a subject where you need knowledge from all other subjects. That is why you have to, whenever you see something, for example, you come across something like removal of auditors, you should be, if you have completed law, you should be able to recollect and you should be able to tell when we remove an auditor, right? Then audit report covered by SA 700. Then again, audit of banks, something linked again to banks that we have learned in advanced accounting, and some different types of entities which you would be referring to, right? Then one of the most scary, one of the most difficult paper for students, you can ask anybody, any of your seniors, EIS and SM. SM is easier. EIS is the one, and I'm not scaring you guys, I'm telling you a fact. Don't try to do this subject at the last. A lot of students feel that we'll watch some marathon, we will watch some fast track classes and we'll finish it up. EIS is impossible with that. Okay, bulky, lots of concepts, and that is where you need to start this paper on time and continuously revise. Continuously you need revision. It is not normal computer, it is about auditing in a computerized environment. It is about understanding the process, and EIS is also linked to audit. So only after you kind of finish some part of audit, you should start EIS. SM is more about business strategy and all of that. And the last paper we have is financial management and economics for finance. Financial management talks about where do we get money from, sources of fund, and how do we deploy the funds. Economics for finance, it talks about macroeconomics, GDP, GNP, international trade, monetary policy, and all of that. In foundation, you learned microeconomics. In intermediate, you learn macroeconomics. Now, the reason why I gave you this overview for 20 minutes is just to give you a bird's eye view, a perspective of what all you would be covering in CA intermediate, right? Now, here, papers 2, paper 4, that is law and taxation, paper 6 and paper 7, audit and EISSM, you have 30 marks of MCQs with no negative marking. So that actually helps you to improve your score. For scoring well in MCQ, you need conceptual understanding. Sir, now enough of GAN on the type, on all these papers. How should we start preparation? So ideal combination would be to start with group 1, take paper 1, and maybe to begin with, you take up maybe law alongside. So generally try to have a combination of a practical plus a theory paper, right? So 2 to 3 papers you can use, and if you want, what you can do is you can use our scheduler. So at 8:30 at Indigo Learn, we have, those of you who are in doubt as to how should we plan, how should we schedule, you can just click here. Sorry. Just give me a moment. Right. So here, what you can do is you can click on the dashboard and you can create this study planner. Create a study planner, choose CA, Inter, and put your start date, Maybe you can put your end date as the 31st of October, right? 9 hours of study per day, include Sunday, enter all subjects. And so I think it's still loading. The first time all of this is done. Just select this date. Yeah. And you can create the study planner. It will create a planner and it will tell you, okay, so what all should you study? Introduction to accounting standards and all of that. Then, corporate and other law and, personal management. Some sequence which we have tried and that has actually, helped a lot of students. If you are in confusion, you can use this and you can start your preparation, right? Now, some subjects that you should not start before starting other subjects is like some subjects like your, advanced accounting, auditing, EIS. Okay. These are subjects which have linkages with other subjects. So what you should do is, and EIS, why I'm saying that is because a lot of thing around audit will also be covered in EIS. So try to start EIS after you start audit, right? Something which you can start independently, like cost and management accounting. You can start independently financial management. You can start independently economics for finance. That combination you can start. Now, I will talk about some of the challenges that students face when they prepare or move from foundation to intern. See, in foundation, you had 4 papers. 2 to 3 months or 4 months of study time was sufficient for you. Now, the number of days or number of hours that you have to put should also be higher. The duration that you'll be studying also will be higher. And one big challenge for a lot of CA Inter students is completion of syllabus in time. Okay. Now, you may say, sir, we are going to some classes, we are watching, online classes, we are watching Indigo Learn classes. Even if I, consider all of that, syllabus completion is a challenge. Why do I say that? Even if you have enrolled for a class, you may miss some classes. You may skip some days. And once you skip those days, you may not come back and complete. And completion of syllabus does not only mean going through the video lectures or going through the physical classes. Revise. Whatever you learn, you also need to revise because it is vast. It is huge. I'm not making, just statements. Content is vast, content is dense, and you will need to put in 4 times the effort. A lot of students, what they think is, okay, February, we have registered. A lot of students ask, sir, what is the last day to register? We say 1st of March. Okay, sir, we'll register in this week. Okay, you have registered with ICI. Then in March, some semester exams will be there. Then April, May, June, July, you will think, okay, we'll start today, tomorrow. In this, time zone is when you lose the track of studies. And this I have seen with a lot of students. Then what do you say? Okay, after November, there is May, I will write in May. Then again in May, you would say, no, I have not completed. Let me write in November. So one thing what I want all of you to do is right from day one. In fact, I started my CA Inter preparation the next day after CA foundation exams. Okay. We have some students here who had to defer their foundation attempts due to some reason. Ashwin is there, in fact, and he's already started his CA Inter preparation after his foundation results. Okay. So foundation results means the foundation results of June, where he could not write one paper. And in December exams, he cleared his foundation and he has already started his preparation, right? So the earlier you start, the better it is for you because syllabus completion is a must and you will need at least 1 to 2 revisions. It is not that, I will. So another notion that you have to keep in mind is a lot of things that you have learned in CA foundation, somewhere you learned in your 10+2 also. Accounting related aspects, economics related aspects, mathematics related aspects. You had something else, somewhere else you were learning. Now, when it comes to, CA Inter, a lot of these concepts you will not learn anywhere else. A lot of you may not be doing BCom as well because you feel that if I attend physical classes, in a college, my CA Inter preparation will be hampered. So in fact, if you want, you can try online BCom classes, that we are offering with Shastra University, if at all you are interested in. Okay, where you don't need to go to physical classes and, classes will be conducted online by Shastra University and you also get a BCom degree along with your CA, right? So there will be challenges where you will not be learning these concepts anywhere else, right? You would not be, learning these concepts anywhere else. You will not be getting time to revise. That is where That is where it becomes, important for all of you to have continuous revisions, going on continuously. You need to prepare and have a plan in mind, right? And a lot of students also face this challenge that, you are not able to complete some things, you're not able to understand something, you get stuck there. So that also becomes a challenge. So what you need to do is you need to plan your days. You need to take, for example, I showed you the study planner. So when I've showed you the study planner, you need to plan your days and accordingly prepare. Every day before you go to sleep or next day morning, you have to decide what will you complete today and ensure that you complete that. Now, the next question that comes is, sir, should we study for 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours? It matters. What matters is quality of preparation, and what does not matter is quantity of preparation. So even if you study 8 hours or 10 hours, that should be sufficient, but it has to be qualitative. I've done a separate video on how to do quality study, how not to waste time, how to study for longer hours, right? So that is one more thing which you have to keep in mind. And one important thing, because the syllabus content is vast, you may have study material with you, you may have classroom notes with you, printed books with you, all of that is fine. Something that you must do on your own is make your own short notes. That is one thing. Second thing is things which you are forgetting, adjustments which you are finding difficult. Please make a separate note of them. Please mark tricky questions separately and come back to them when you are revising. Third thing, as you take classes, whether with us or whether with anybody, any other institute, there would be some questions of past exams, RTP and all of that, which would be covered in the class. There would be some questions from the study material, RTP, past exams, which would not be covered in the class. One thing that you need to improve as you move from foundation to enter is you must start becoming more independent. So you've taken a class, you have attended a class, they have solved 10 problems, 5 problems solve on your own. If you have a doubt in those 5 problems, please go back and check with the faculty, check with the classes as to how it is to be solved. So we can use forums that we offer. Whenever you have any doubt, take the question, image of the question, ask in the forum, and we'll be more than happy to solve. Sir, is it possible to prepare on own? Is it possible to do self-study and pass examination? 100% it is possible. I have written my examination without any coaching. It's 100% possible. But then you need to spend more time, more efforts, and give yourself 15 to 20 days time, go through the content, go through the study material, and figure out whether you will be able to understand on your own or not. Within that 15-20 days, if you are able to figure out that, no, this is slightly challenging for me, I need help, there is no harm in taking coaching. But if you feel that after 15-20 days, I am able to manage, go ahead, please complete, please complete on your own. That would be one of the best way of preparation. But what I have seen is about 80 to 85% students, generally when they, when they try to study on their own, they may not be able to understand the depth of the subject. So that is where at intermediate level, you may need help. Please feel free to take help that you need, right? So that is another thing what I wanted to share. So few things, your study plan, your time, every day you have to study. There should not be a day like, today I'll not study, I'm bored, I'll not study. That is, that is not something which should be acceptable. Enjoy, take breaks, go out with your friends, but study as well. Okay. Now, I'll take up the questions. A lot of questions been asked. Just a second. Okay. How to be, so CA final with articles for job, I will do a separate video on that. Second one is how to be focused and consistent. How to be focused and consistent. Now, consistency is, what is consistency? Doing things as per plan regularly. Doing things as per plan regularly. So what is consistency? Every day I will study 4 hours. Even that is consistency. Every day I will get up at a specified time. That is consistency. Every day I will exercise. That is consistency. So you will have to decide that, okay, this is my study plan. I showed you one study planner on the app. That is my study plan. I will follow this plan. That is when it is consistent. Now, when do we become inconsistent? When we do not go back and check whether we have achieved what we have planned. For example, today morning, I thought I will do 10 things. Today morning, just a second. Today morning, I will do 10 things. We have decided. So what I want all of you to do is take a notebook, write down those 10 things, or keep a diary, write down those 10 things. At the end of the day, before you go to bed, please see whether you have completed those 10 things or not. Okay. Now, if you have completed those 10 things, then good. If you are not able to complete those 10 things, you have to check why you were not able to complete. Reflect on your day from morning till evening. What all did you do and where all you wasted time, where all you took more time. You do this for 15 days, self-evaluation. I am 101% sure you will get consistency and discipline. Okay. Then focus, try meditation. Then, if required, you can take our mentorship program where we give tools of meditation. If you have anyways taken a full group with us, then that mentorship program is available to you for free, right? So that is what you can do. Then, can you please share this PDF? Yes, you can, download it from ici.org. So that should not be a problem. So for me as well as other student, ICI study material is very late, so it's hard to study theory subjects. Kindly advise. So Ashwin, since you have been with us from foundation as well, and now we have also started dispatching our own books. So for theory subjects, the books that we provide are about 80-85%, of study material in a simplified format. So you already have received books of, audit, EIS, SM and all of that. Please take those books and start your preparation. You don't need to wait for study material. I know study material is arriving late. So whichever theory subjects you are picking up, for example, even law, if you are picking up, our book is, handy enough for you to start preparation. Once the study material arrives, the only thing that you need to do is go back to the chapters and finish those questions. Questions in the chapter, questions at the end of the chapter. That is all. So what you can do is you can use our material and the preparation. So if I complete both groups in November, then can I get 2 years of articleship? I think this ICAI should clarify because they have not given sadly any update on this. I hope the new syllabus is approved as soon as possible and all of us have a lot of clarity. Right. So Tarun has some suggestion. You can complete strategic management subject and then, that will actually help you. Right. That is, the broad thing of, how you should approach. And coming to us, if at all, those students who have taken classes with us, right, for you, please follow the sequence given in the videos. Please follow the study planner. As you watch the videos, note down important points that you find complex, that you find maybe forgetting, right? Apart from that, you have notes with you and solve the questions as the faculty solves in the class. Okay. Now, this is for not only for our students, for others also. What you do is, or what students generally tend to do is, they'll take a book and they will start, just browsing this question. Okay, this is to be done. Step 1, step 2, step 3. I know this. Turn it. Okay, this also I know. You actually don't put pen on paper and you don't solve the questions. And that is where you lack practice in the examination. Or whenever you want to write the examination, you are missing on that part. So this is one thing what I want all of you to do is, whichever class you have taken, or whether even if you are doing self-study, as and when you're solving a problem, don't read the solution. Don't read the solution. Take the question, complete the answer. Take the question, complete the answer, write down the answer, and that is buddy check update. Yes, Sarath is working on it, and we're finding some issues in getting that buddy check thing. But yes, it is in the pipeline. It's a major shift on the way we put up the app. Right then. Sir, can I write group 1 in November 23 and second group in May 24? Yes, you'll be able to do the transition and you'll be able to write. But now again, this new syllabus confusion, one message I want to give to all of you is, don't think that or don't think about what will happen in May 24. Your focus and only focus should be November 23. Your only focus should be November 23. May 24, when it will come, we will see at that point of time. Currently, We do not have what will happen in May 24. We are not aware of what will happen in May 24. Your focus should be November 23. The single focused goal should be November 23. Right? So that is there. Yes. Any direct entry currently requires 9 months of articleship. Okay. Any more questions you have on, the things that come to your mind when you talk about November 23 exams? Very important for all of you to plan your BCom exams, your semester exams, and all of that. Because the other day I was, having a look at a couple of forum queries where students were saying that, because of BCom exams, we are not able to concentrate on CA. That is where you need to have focus. You need to decide whether, BCom is a priority or CA is a priority. CA preparation should not go in the back seat. It should always be in the front seat. And we need consistent preparation, consistent revision, and consistent, practicing of past exam papers and all of that. That is when it is required. While watching costing class, it's too much time to take short notes. So, okay, when I say short notes, don't note down everything. The book contains the theory portion. When I say short notes means what? Maybe side headings. Okay. Or some things which you are forgetting. For example, in cost sheet, you keep on forgetting the order. For that, prepare a separate. See, our cost sheet in the book also gives you the format, but you keep on forgetting. I used to forget cash flow statement. So what did I do? I wrote cash flow statement in a separate format in my own book. Same problem you may face in audit. So many things to remember. EIS, so many things to remember. Whatever things you are forgetting or you feel that you will forget, write them down. Short notes doesn't mean writing all the thing that is given on the screen. Short notes mean, for example, advantages of cost accounting system, or advantages of activity based costing. Okay, briefly, only the keywords that you should, or that you would be required to remember, or you may forget, only that should be. And why I am insisting you to note down on your own is you will retain it. Otherwise, you will not be able to retain. Okay, and please, those of our students, we have this, special thing, and I'll just show it to you. There is something on this dashboard which gives you actual completion versus expected completion. Please keep a track of this. Okay, so whichever subject you're referring to, I'll just give you one subject which I have completed to some extent. Yeah, so once I start watching it, I'll get it. Okay, so please ensure this tracker. Okay, your how much you are expected to complete and what is the percentage of completion. Please keep a track of it. Don't fall behind this. Okay, and for questions which have MCQs, we have MCQ separately a section. As in, when you complete a chapter, complete the MCQs also. So that will help you remember and retain the concepts. Okay, right? So that is one more thing which you should keep in mind as to keeping track of this particular progress. So here, so let's say May 23, and I take accounting standards, and if I say fetch, so see, I know I'm enrolled on this subject for a long time. So my completion is at what? 25%. May 23 attempt, if I see, it's not appropriate. So November 23, if I just I fetch this. So this shows me over a period of time what is my progress. So please ensure you finish it. And here, this area shows you how much time have you come, how many minutes have you watched. So please ensure you keep a consistent duration of finishing the how many hours, like 4 to 5 hours of video lectures every day if you're able to watch. That's a consistent base to start with, right? So two things, what I wanted to share with the students. Please track them. That will help you improve or complete the progress. Then any more questions from anyone? Okay, so no more questions. So few concluding lines from my side. You will find it sometimes vast, sometimes you may not want to study, sometimes you may forget things. All of that is natural. Please accept it and please continue to study. Okay, don't think that I'll forget everything, I'll forget everything. If you keep on telling that to yourself, then it will be difficult for you in the examination. And to those students who have taken both the groups, please complete your mentorship program as quickly as possible. Okay, so that with the help of whatever Supriya gives you the tricks and tools and all of that, that will actually help you to do well in the examination. And it has worked really well for a lot of our students. So we have given you complimentary access. Please make use of it. And lastly, mock test papers. Please submit the mock test papers. Start planning to write them around September, October, and around September and October. And please finish the mock test. Students who have written mock tests, who have completed the course, who have completed the MCQs, they have greater chance of passing. Okay, so that is one message from my side. And yes, we forum is there. Whatever whenever you have something, you can put it up there, and we'll be more than happy to help you and resolve your queries. So thanks a lot for your time and have a nice day. Good night. How to overcome the fear of I will not understand the concept? Wow, what an interesting question. So see, we are explaining the concept. We explain the concept, right? And we have tried to make it as simple as possible. Even after that, there is a possibility that some concepts we may not be able to understand for the first time. So there, what I suggest is watch the lecture once again. Watch the lecture once again, right? Once you watch the lecture once again, even then you are not able to understand, please reach out to us through forums. We'll help you out. Special thanks for Pass Protection Scheme. Yeah, welcome Ashwin. And yes, of course, I have hopes that you all will do good in the examination, and we would not be required to extend the course. Rather, we would see you enrolling for CA final classes. Okay, that is what is my hope, and that is what I hope from all of you. Put in your efforts, put in your hard work, complete the syllabus, ask doubts, ask queries. It'll happen. You will be able to complete the classes and have success in the examination, right? Sure, thank you. We'll keep on interacting more, so that maybe monthly once or twice we'll keep on interacting, and more questions would come up. We'll be able to guide you. Sure. Good night.